Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, Red Eagle Politics just an hour ago released a video, and I thought it was a very good video because honestly, it's a must-have conversation about the House of Representatives. It is winnable, but it's going to be harder this time because, as you can clearly see, the Republicans, despite having the House of Representatives in 2024, it swung left. You'll see Hakeem Jeffries, it was a D+2, and we're seeing the direction where it's going. But it's not inevitable that it's going to go Democratic in 2026. We want to prevent that. I won't be surprised if it does, but what we can do is we can try to strike 10 seats. 10 seats, and he listed those 10 seats, and I put them into an top 10 most likely seats, most important seats, the likely seats that we're going to possibly pick up in 2026, and see if we can kind of counter this. Because all Democrats have to do is flip 3 seats. That's all they have to do. Flip 3 and they win. And we want to prevent that. So we're going to go ahead and basically get started, starting off with the first seat. And that is, check out my list here, that is going to be the state, in the state of New Hampshire. That's right. And I was surprised when looking at the Red Eagle and why that he had that in there. But we'll go with it. I'm going to go with the seats that he talked about. I put them in different order, though. He didn't really put them in an order. He just kind of laid them out on the table. I put them in an order. I categorized them because I want to know which one's likely, which one isn't. And the one on the table is New Hampshire 1. And New Hampshire 1 has Chris Pappas. And Chris Pappas, of course, is an interesting, he is going to be, of course, running in the said, for said Senate, and it's going to be questionable. A lot of people say, oh, this seat's not for grabs. Let's see what the seat says in here. It says likely Democratic or leaning Democratic. Red Eagle is basically saying, hey, look, this is a seat that trended pretty much rightward. Trump didn't win it. He lost it by like 2 points. That's fairly good. Chris Pappas is a popular congressman, though, from this said district. It was probably very likely that he carried all but the county of Belknap, which is right here. Every county but Belknap County. If you were to actually put turn this into a county map, which this is just municipalities, but we're saying 54% defeating Russell Prescott, 45% in 2022. Same numbers, same graph. Although Caroline Levitt actually ran in this said race, believe it or not, in 2022. She was the Republican nominee. She did very good. Maybe she can run again now that she's the House Secretary, White House Press Secretary. But yeah, she's doing a good job. But obviously, Chris Pappas won. So a lot of people would be making their eyes at me, suggesting, oh, I'm not just saying it, by the way, because Red Eagle is saying it. If you guys heard me all the time calling Red Eagle out, if I disagree with his take in Virginia. And in this case, I think he is on the right. I think he's not wrong. I think, you know what, Chris Pappas, he's been in the House for a while. He's become very relative in this said district. This is why it's number 10. It's at the bottom. And the likelihood we're going to pick it up is, it's going to be a bit of a process. You'll see New Hampshire's first district, yada, yada. And then, of course, Carol Hershey Porter won that in 2016. And you'll see relatively it was very close. Although Sean O'Connor needed to go in there and take some votes away. But it was, oh yes, and not, besides, this was a Democratic pickup. They will politely remind us. But I'm just saying we've seen some cases and scenarios that this seat is winnable. We've seen in at-large races that in let's see here recent New Hampshire race, I can guarantee you uh, uh, that district went to Kelly Ayotte pretty handingly. Congressional seats. Yeah, and Kelly Ayotte also won that second district. The second district's going to be a little bit harder. Has Grafton County, more liberal, but we are putting it up to play. It's a theory that the reason why this district's so blue than what it actually is, because you actually have Carroll County right up here, and Carroll County is a Republican county. It's relatively conservative. It's just very compatible with these popular libertarian, and they're not, these type that appeal to these libertarian New Hampshireites that, like Chris Pappas, that's resulting to this said district going blue. And I do think if this theory is correct, then Chris Pappas is relatively going to defeat Mr. Brown pretty handingly. And I would kind of distance myself with the New Hampshire kind of analysis there. But yes, it's a possibility that we can pick this seat up. We're not downplaying it. But I won't get my hopes up on it. The next seat is going to be Florida 23. And now Florida 23 is I've mentioned many times that relatively there are not many seats in Florida that are contestable. I wouldn't have said that highly. There wasn't much of a seat there, but you'll see Jared Moskowitz is actually trying to hold on to this seat, and it's very possible that he can actually lose. And taking a look at this, yeah, you'll see he did poorly, yes, but he'll say, oh, I went from 51% to 52%. Yeah, that could be because of the Kamala turnout from Palm Beach County. But let's think about it. In 2026, supposedly Byron Donalds is running a very good governor's campaign. You have Ashley Moody, and in the United States Senate, you got the Republicans in the down ballot. So relatively, the field is wide open. Very similar to the elections in Florida in 2022. If you can take a look at going back up, actually all the way up here, you'll see I want to know, is there gains? Where's the gains? I want to know which counties, okay, yes, you got, they flipped the 4th, 7th, those relatively 2. But if you can flip 2, and because of DeSantis and Rubio, I think Republicans can go as far as winning and taking out Mr. Mowitz, or whatever his name was, in a couple, let's see, in Florida 23. I think it's ultimately very possible. He has moderated his positions to more of a libertarian conservative life because he knows he's in trouble. Let's keep in mind, Palm Beach County, maybe this is more of a liberal area, and suppose that these areas up in the northern side are more liberal too. You have some constituencies and precincts, but let's just say we just hope that Byron Donalds is going to deliver some cocktail effects that would bring down Jared Moskowitz. That is kind of our agenda there. And he getting endorsed by Everytown for gun safety, which is not a very good thing to be endorsed by, especially in the state of Florida. Very pro-gun state, even in these urban areas. That's just contradicting Jared Moskowitz's stance when it comes to being more moderate. Actually, no. So I was wrong. This is actually parts of Broward. So this is Broward County, and this is Palm Beach. Okay, so Broward County we know is pretty Democratic. So but I do know that Palm Beach could be winnable. We're going to have to see, though. But definitely, I do think Florida 23 is up for grabs. Texas 34 is the next seat on number 8. And this seat is right here. Yeah, you'll see it's a pretty solid Trump district. In fact, Trump won every single county in this district, winning it by, I would expect double digits. It's a pretty good margin there. But you also have this guy here, Vicente Gonzalez. He's been in the House of Representatives since 22. He defeated the incumbent, Mayra Flores. She's trying to get her seat back, but sometimes you got to put a fork in it. And I think she's done running. She failed twice now. But with this map, though, very good map from the previous borders, was very favorable for Mayra Flores. Very favorable. But, of course, that was a flip. And you have the November results that flipped back Democratic because the borders changed. And that was very beneficial to Democrats, obviously. But let's just say Republicans, you got to look at these counties down here. The votes down here are going to determine which way this race is going to go. 2024. Yeah, they're a little lighter. That's good. You possibly want to get this up to 60%. Then possibly it could change around. But I think a good candidate, it's already saying tilting Democrats, possibly toss-up. But no real potential candidate running. But we could find someone. But it's possible, and I've mentioned Mr. Henry Cuellar, and his indictments and his convictions could hurt him. In that said, could not only hurt his district, but it could hurt his colleague, Vicente Gonzalez, and his efforts in getting reelected in that special seat. And the seat going Republican would only convince other people, yep, Southern Texas is pretty Republican. I'm having a hard time believing that Southern Texas is Republican. Yeah, it went for Trump. But this is kind of a reaffirmation that Southern Texas is on pace to become Republican. And that would be huge. But this is a seat that we could also put in against if we're doing very well taking out Henry Cuellar. Or Cuellar, whatever his name is. Number 7 is Ohio 13. Now, Ohio 13 is an interesting district, although I think we can find some loopholes into actually making it even better. You'll see right here, this is Ohio 13. Pretty Democratic. It voted for Kamala Harris. It's a Kamala Harris-said district. So do you think there's possibilities of flipping it? Yeah, you'll see. This county is, what's it called? Summit County. Yes, Summit. Also has parts of Portage and Stark counties. Possibilities of winning this county. It's winnable. I mean, Mr. Governor Devine won this county. It's J.D. Vance couldn't win it. Donald Trump couldn't win it. It's a Cleveland suburb influence county. And this is where the center of the population is. And what's gonna have to be determined here is, A, we don't actually make it easier to win this county. What's gonna have to happen is we're gonna have to do a lot of campaigning. We're gonna hope that Vivek is going to break through in that county, in Summit County, and lead to a victory for the Republicans there. Be the Cokedale effect, in other words. Otherwise, there are other loopholes. We can actually say, let's redo the borders and say, hey, look, let's snip some parts of Summit County, sort of like how we snipped Salt Lake County in Utah. We take this district and maybe add this part of the county to this district. Then again, it has to be relatively big. Maybe add this district and this district. So you're taking little corners of the county, Summit County, and maybe extending the borders into maybe this dark red county to kind of make up for the said loss of land, because it has to equivalize that population. It has to have the same amount of population. So it's not something that, we could just scribble a map and that's so beneficial. You have to do math with it also. So I do think possibly Republicans in Ohio, the legislature, they got to be smart, because really you got 2 important seats here that they could get for free, and you just have 3 Democrat seats in Ohio. That's what could happen. So that's what Republicans in Ohio need to do. They have the legislature. They can do it. You're just going to take these 3 seats, 4 seats really. This district, this district, this district. Don't know the names. Kind of chop them up a little bit. But then again, it's likely going to be this district that's going to lose some areas. But likely to be a pretty Republican district now. But yes, I would say all that for possibly winning. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to skip out an opportunity, though. You're given a one-time opportunity. That ballot measure, like we covered last year, is the best opportunity to gain 2 new seats. Republican, unlike the Democrats, which are trying to do with Wisconsin 3, Ohioans approved this. Ohioans gave us the mandate to redo the borders. So, absolutely, this is 100% Democratic. So, as in not the party, but in the people's will. But that is Ohio 13, which I am pretty confident that we could actually pick up if we go through with the border common sense border changes. Number 6 is Washington 6. Or is it Washington? Nope, Washington 3, not Washington 6. What am I thinking? Washington 6. And this is a pretty big Trump district. So why is it all the way at number 6? Well, it's a possibility that we could walk away with this district also. I think it's very possible. Because, yes, you have this lady right here, Maria Gluesenkamp-Perez, Maria Perez, and you'll see that Gluesenkamp-Perez, she is what's keeping this district pretty blue. 2022, same counties, although she got pretty popular in Washington 3. So obviously the conservatives, there are some conservatives, Trump Republicans that are going out and voting for Perez. Perez, after all, is a moderate. She's a part of the Blue Dog Coalition. And after all, maybe it's because some Kamala Harris supporters also backed Perez while they're at it, but she's going to be a difficult one to beat. This is why the district's at number 6. But yes, this is a 3.3% Trump district. So you would think, this is a good district to win. But then again, we have some opportunities of possibly winning this district. You'll have some candidates running. You have John Rocco. Gluesenkamp-Perez has not declared a run yet. But looking here, you have Brent Heinrich, who is looking to actually throw Gluesenkamp-Perez out of that primary. He is the candidate for this district in 2022. He could, if he runs on a more liberal progressive platform, take away those liberal votes from Perez, then he could possibly pull an upset, because I can guarantee you a lot of libturds, we know how intolerant the Democratic Party has become today. They can't stand Glusenkamp Perez being a moderate. They can't stand that she is appealing to Republicans, and they're calling her a fascist, and they're going to do whatever they can. She's become the John Fetterman of Washington, and I say this is absolutely a benefit and beneficiary to actually flip this district if we get another Democrat. And obviously Washington primaries are quite difficult. 2024, yes, Joe Kent, you have the primary elections where this is the primary. Yeah, it was pretty decisive. The only problem was she was the only Democrat. I would just say add another Democrat in. You're going to see more divided numbers. Would Glusenkamp Perez win? I don't know. There's very little people voting. I mean, this district has no more, like 3,000 people. Keep in mind, Clark County right here is a suburban influential county influenced by Portland. So you do have a lot of far left shenanigans in that area. So I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. But I'm not putting my money and betting money on that. But I would love to see that district going to the rightful owners. And it's a red district. It's Republican. And honestly, we need to win back these Republican Trump won districts. They're ours. They were carried by Donald Trump. Therefore, they're Donald Trump districts. It's just that simple. All right. Number 5, halfway through this list. This video has gone forever. Almost half hour through. This video will at least be a half hour. But we're going to go ahead and address number 5, and that is specifically North Carolina 1. And I feel pretty good about North Carolina 1 because this district has proven to actually gone Republican in a couple elections. Senator Budd actually won that said district pretty handily, like by 3 points, or actually Trump won by 3 points. Budd won it more than Trump did. And I think reason being, it's probably more because of the propensity vote. But you're seeing, yes, it's light blue. That's very good. And that's despite a Kamala Harris cocktail effect, which their Democrat Don Davis is not going to have this time around. Keep in mind, he managed to pull a performance of 49.5% with Polk County. And Polk County voted for Trump. Yes, it voted for Biden, but now it's becoming more relatively conservative than not. There's Pasquotank, that also voted for Biden. Now it's going pretty Republican now. It's kind of hard to find an election where Pasquotank County is voting Democrat. There's Lenoir County. You got to crank up those numbers there. Sure, yes, they'll say, oh, we have more, Democrats have more of these blue counties, but these blue counties, they're going more rightward. They're going less blue. Like you're seeing, this county's not dark blue anymore. This one up here is not dark blue. This used to be very dark blue. We could actually win this county, too. It's possible. We could win this county, and if so, we would win this district. It's pretty rural and unpopulated. Well, there's some African-American vote around. But I think overall, Republicans need to trounce the vote in Pasquotank and Lenoir and take back Polk County. But obviously, it's not what it looked like back in 2022. 2022, oh boy. Yeah, Don Davis, it was pretty good for him. And yeah, he had Polk County. I don't think he's going to carry it this time around. I think it's going to be pretty different. But then again, different borders. The borders really were in his favor. Lenoir, this county right here, that's probably what really hurt Don Davis. We could win this district. It's not hard. It's just a district to watch at. when it comes to this. Hopefully, there's not going to be an opposite Thom Tillis cocktail effect. And I hope Thom Tillis will do good, and I think he will. I think this time around polling is in his favor, but we're just gonna wait and see. But let's take a look at the fourth district on this list, and that is California 13. Now, California 13 is Adam Gray's district. It is a district that he barely won, and I think it was probably because of the Kamala Harris cocktail. Very likely. But this district, yeah, you'll see, it was kind of difficult for incumbent John Duarte, and I think it's possible that Duarte could possibly run again and win it back. I think it's possible. And yeah, it's tossed up. Okay, John Duarte is he didn't run, but Javier Lopez is actually running, and that's good. It looks like this guy's a Hispanic guy, and then again, I really do not like the woke race thing, but you gotta run someone that's going to appeal to the minority base. And Hispanics are a very big minority base in this district. You have Javier Lopez. He's experienced. He comes from the town of Ceres, and this is in Stanislaus County, a county that Gray won. So this is very good that Javier Lopez is running. I 100% endorse him. Mainly not because he's an Hispanic man, he's going to get the Hispanics out, they're going to appeal to him more. Yeah, that's true, but he's also from a swing county, a county that, yeah, you probably need to win. He's going to be that favorite son in this county, which is right here, which is throttled in between this county and this county. If he wins that county, it's likely that Gray is probably going to carry this county only, and I think this is the Sacramento County. But Republicans would win this district back. So I'm very hopeful that Lopez would run and win this district back, and I think it's very possible. Not to mention Gray, and now unless Gray is some sort of superstar in this district. I don't think so, though. It's really going to depend on the Hispanic turnout, and I think if Hispanic turnout's high, and not to mention the anti-California establishment turnout, to vote against and stand up against the authoritarian California regime that has put Californians last for years. That's going to be what's going to determine this race also. So I think there's just too many contributors that would allow Republicans to actually win this district handily. So I feel pretty good about this, for sure. All right, California 13. Number 3 is going to be back to Ohio. Ohio 9. And then again, once again, this is a district that I think is more easier to win compared to Ohio 13. Ohio 9 is take a look here. It used to be a pretty big Democratic stronghold because going back to the 2008 election, all this was blue. The coasts were blue. Not anymore. You just have one Democrat county, and that is the county of Lucas, which has Toledo. Toledo's blue because it's a university city, and it's university students that are keeping this district blue. But you gotta think common sense. Students aren't going to be the main contributor that's going to keep your district blue. That's just not how it works. So they're going to have a problem. Not to mention, let's take a look in 2022. Yeah, you'll see Marcy Capator. She managed to win re-election. She got Lucas up to 60%. And this county right down here, it's more influence there. Sandusky, that county in Erie County. That was also blue. Sandusky's now Republican. And they're going to go out and vote against her. And it's pretty much, you probably don't need to even redistrict this district, honestly, do redistricting, because it looks pretty convincing. She went from 56% deflated all the way to a margin of 0.6. That is horrible. That's horrible. Like, Marcy Kaptur is going to lose for sure, like, if she's nominated again. And I'm guaranteeing she's like the Miller Meeks of Ohio Democrats. They're looking at Ohio 13, Ohio 9, and they're saying this district's going to give out and give way. I mean, if the Republican, Derek Marin, would have got a little bit more vote up here, he would have been the congressman right now. But what we're looking at right now, it's pretty convincing that this district is, Kaptur is running again. That's just horrible for Democrats. Just horrible. And she's already raising money. So Democrats can't celebrate this. This is horrible. The Republicans, we should be quiet about it, because we want Democrats to double down on this lady. Because honestly, I'm like, why should we redistrict it? Because it's just, maybe we can add a little bit right here, just a little bit down south, and take a little bit of Lucas County away, and we would win it for sure, no doubt about it. So I feel very good about Ohio 9. Number 2 is Texas 28. So, looking at Texas 28, and this is the big one. Mainly because this is the guy, Henry Cuellar, who is going to be convicted, and he might be in jail. He probably is already convicted. Democrats have already threw him under the bus. They said, no, you're done. You're a liability. Which, on the way, I get what they're saying. But then again, you're just admitting that, yep, we agree this guy is a fraud. This guy's bad. And here, he's already reelected, renominated. And a lot of people will probably say, okay, he could run again. He could get the nomination. It really does depend if a fellow Democrat's going to step up and say, Henry Cuellar, you're a liability, get out. It really does depend. And I do think that it's very possible. Like, taking a look at the 20, let's see here. Leaning Democrat. This is stupid. Cook Political Report Inside Elections. Come on. You guys do not. Okay, Mayra Flores is running again. Mayra Flores is, she's running in this district now, and she might actually win. I mean, she's been a relative figure enough. She's a congresswoman. I think, she's not bad. I want to make it myself clear. She's not bad. I think they're going to definitely prefer her over Cuellar, who is, once again, he is being convicted over something horrible, bribes in Azerbaijan, for persecuting Christians. You heard that right. Persecuting and targeting Christians. That's not going to suit well in the constituents in your district. It's absolutely not. So, obviously, I think it's pretty damning result here. I mean, let's be honest. This is what would be huge. The writing's on the wall. This district could go Republican, even though it's saying, man, I don't know. I don't care. It's too early. But I'm just saying the writings go on the wall, and it's not looking good for Cuellar. But we got to go and talk about our number 1 district on the list, and I think you guys can all guess it. That is Maine 2nd District. Maine 2nd District, a almost Trump plus 10 district, is prone to flip. It's probably going to go Republican regardless if this guy named Jared Golden runs or not. Reason why I say that. Well, Red Eagle politics, he's saying that, if he runs for governor, and he's already said, I'm running for re-election. Let's make ourselves clear. Well, he hasn't declined a run. I mentioned this a couple videos ago. He has not declined a run for governor. He has not declined a run for the Senate. But right now, he is currently running for Congress. I think it's really weird why Red Eagle doesn't mention this, because a lot of people think he hasn't made up his mind. He's already declared and filed his paperwork. He's running. And the fact that, I'm raising all this money right now, the fact am I going to rip them off and drop all that money just to run for a Senate seat? Unless I'm being pressured by the establishment to do so, or the governorship, I would say less likely the governorship, because Democrats will win that easily. But the Senate would be more likely. But it does depend on if like Janet Mills, if she's running. You got the other congresswoman in the 1st district, she might run. But you have, of course, Jared Golden. I'm saying it really doesn't matter which way it goes, honestly. This is so naive, tilting Democrat, leaning Democrat. You take a look at this district. Yeah, it's a Republican district, solid Republican. It's getting more Republican. And they say, but Jared Golden, he is the only Democrat that can keep it blue. Well, that doesn't really matter. Well, yeah, that matters, but eventually he's going to lose. That's why Jon Tester lost. Yes, people applauded Jon Tester because he kept Montana blue. But when Montana gets more red, it's going to get more harder for Jon Tester to win. And what happened? Jon Tester lost. Same deal with Sherrod Brown. Comparing it to 2018, Sherrod Brown, Ohio was still technically a swing state. And it improved heavily for Republicans. Technically, 6 years later, heavily. Democrats haven't won a race there since. Maybe some minor Supreme Court races. And Sherrod Brown gets kicked out. Same deal. I could guarantee you, Joe Manchin would have lost that race for sure in West Virginia if he had run. So what we are seeing by fact, the data that we're looking here right now, you're seeing very, very, very tight results. Jared Golden won by less than a point. This shows that Mainers, whatever they're called, in the 2nd district, they're getting tired of Jared Golden. They're getting tired of him. They're kind of putting them to sleep. He's been in there for a while, and it's time for him to go. You'll see. Take a look at the 2nd district. Although Republicans had a chance to pick it up, but you'll see here, 53% to 46%. Look at how quickly that dropped. They'll say, it's because of the Trump cocktail effect. Okay, that could possibly be, but you have to admit that there's also the possibility that, this is a Republican district, almost double-digit Republican, and we have a Democrat, very popular, but he's losing popularity. 2020, kind of same numbers as 2022. And not to mention Trump cocktail effect, it's still pretty much the same. I'm skeptical because Trump support rose a little bit. The people that backed Trump in 2020 were still on the Trump train in 2024. Yes, 2018. Did he flip this district? Yes, this is the guy that ended up flipping, and he was popular in 2020, 2022, and then by 2024, people were kind of tired of him, and I think it's very well likely that he's going to lose in 2026 if he continues on this route, and he's going to be unemployed. On Republicans, they just need to pick. They could run Austin Thurald again and expect a better performance. I am feeling pretty good about this race, relatively. If Republicans gained this is Franklin, or this county right here, you would have had a Congressman Thurald. but you could possibly see a Congressman Thorold if he runs again. Actually, oh no. No. Okay, Paul LePage. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe because Paul LePage is one of the worst governors, and I don't have an opinion on Paul LePage, but the voters have spoken in 2018 about Paul LePage, and they said no. And he's running for the said seat. And I'm saying, okay, can we pick someone else? Because Paul LePage has proven to be a liability in Maine. I mean, he's not running for governor, and he lost. Actually, no. I course correct myself. He didn't run for. He ran for governor in 2014. He was relatively popular in 2022. Okay, yeah. They haven't forgot about this guy. He was pretty unpopular, and he did win the district, which is good. But the question, and he won it by like 2 points. Which makes me think, okay, it really does depend on the Democrat. I would be okay with Paul LePage. He's just a little bit of a liability. He's a risk. He's a risk, I'm telling you. Because the 2022 result, was exactly the same as 2018. And I understand, because Franklin County, they love Janet Mills, because Janet Mills is from Franklin County. And she's the woman that's keeping it blue, for sure. She's keeping it blue, and she's also taking votes away around Franklin County. She's a favorite daughter in that county. So if you are wondering why Franklin County's blue in this election, it's because she's from Franklin County. I mean, sure, maybe, yeah, Kennebeck's more conservative than Franklin. She grew up there. I think she was born there. She grew up there. She worked there. They really like her there. I wonder what they think about her for actively breaking the law in regards to men and women's sports. But I don't know. They're probably programmed. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? We discussed all the 10 districts, all of which I do think Republicans have a good shot at winning. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. See you all in the next political episode.